In fact, let's take that conversation forward. We've got with us Alok Kumar, the former Secretary of the Ministry of Power, Government of India, joining in on the show right now. Mr. Kumar, so good having you today on ET Now. Tell me, how significant do you expect the dip in power demand to be because of this early onset of monsoon?
My view is that we will see more uncertainties in both demand and generation going forward. So this is a temporary, say, phenomena, but overall, say, power demand will grow close to 6%. If you see the NLDC data for non-solar hours in May 2025, what they have projected, demand could be anywhere between 200 gigawatt to 260 gigawatt. So we are living in now growing uncertainties both on demand side and supply side. Our power systems have to cater for that.
Uncertainty, what exactly are you referring to? Are you referring to coal supply? Are you referring to DISCOM uncertainty? Where is
I will
uncertainty?
say simple thing is demand side is now being affected by large loads coming up suddenly, unprecedented weather uncertainties, the short term, medium term effect of the time of day tariffs. So demand will be always in variance what you project, because it is not a very exact assessment possible. And similarly, supply side, because of variation in solar and more in wind generation, so our power systems will have to prepare themselves and the operators will have to prepare themselves for such deviations from the projected demand and supply going forward.
Electricity demand growing at 6%. Now 6% is actually lower than India's GDP. We're talking about per capita demand going higher, more and more ACs are getting penetrated. As India grows, energy demand per capita increases with a multiplier effect. But the demand, monsoon, no monsoon, is at 6%.
The electricity demand in an economy like India, which is more service oriented, will not definitely grow as per the according to the GDP growth, because most of the economic activities might come from service industries. We are not as heavily manufactured centered as China is. So long-term trend, my assessment is would be around 6% CAGR of demand growth of electricity in India.
Right. Also, just wanted to understand how exactly in a situation when there is early monsoon, do power utilities and grid operators, try and adjust their load management strategies in response to if there is a drop in demand?
No, actually, that is a challenge which India is facing now. Suddenly, we are seeing a lot of solar generation in the day. So coal-based plants, they can be brought down to a certain level. They can't be put off because they are needed in the evening. So India urgently requires more of storage capacities, which I am happy many states have awarded tenders for the standalone battery capacity contracts. So I can see in the next 2 years, India's power system will have a lot of battery storage capacities, which can absorb such excess power in the day, and they can supply the power during the peak hours. So this is the part of the our development of power system in the era we are living in.
I'm just going to change topics and talk about the whole solar and the whole focus of government towards non-renewable sources. Where is the future? Is future in thermal or future is in non-thermal?
Every country has its own story, but base load generation will remain important. So every country have its own fuel mix. Somebody is hydro dominated, somebody is nuclear dominated. A large number of countries in the world are gas dominated, but India will remain coal dominated because we are constrained by gas supply for power sector. So it will be a story of both shades. The renewable will keep on growing, and along renewables, storage will grow. But at least for next 2 decades, coal will remain very, very important for India's power supply.
Now, for investors who are looking at this whole energy transition theme, and we're talking about, I'm changing sectors here. If our viewers who are stock market investors, they are looking at the next big trend in the power sector. Some are betting on no change, which is that thermal will remain relevant, like you said. Some are of the view that energy transmission will happen because of solar and because of energy storage. Some are of the view that it's not going to happen in solar or wind, it will happen in nuclear. So for stock market investors who want to learn from your understanding and your wisdom, where should they invest in?
Yeah. So transmission is going to be a very, say, has a very good future because we are going to connect our areas which are rich in solar and wind with the load centers. Though there will be also growth in intrastate transmission projects because likely this waiver of transmission charges, it will be phased out later or sooner. So the growth in the interstate transmission will moderate somewhat, but there is a strong pipeline of the transmission projects already. Going forward, it will moderate a bit, and there will be larger growth of transmission projects within the state. Because we will have more of the renewable energy generation capacities within the state in sort of floating solar, rooftop, PM Kusum, or smaller solar parks. That will be the effect of this waiver of transmission charges. As far as generation is concerned, utilities will keep on entering into PPAs for both the coal-based generation as well as renewable generation, but they will not and they should not enter into 100% of the PPAs into for their projected demand. So there is an urgent need, and which I feel the regulators of India's power sector will come up with some sort of capacity remuneration mechanism, so that the investors who are looking at the markets, because distribution companies will not have 100% PPAs, so it will be largely increasingly market oriented. So they will have some assurance that they will get some capacity payments, and balance they can project to gain from the spot market in terms of energy and ancillary. So it will be a strong growth story for India's power sector in transmission and generation, but we will see more of market development going forward.
Okay, Mr. Kumar, so good having you on the show. Thanks for all that insight as always.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My pleasure.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.